I'm glad you're putting some light on the situation, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Bob. Nice to
Hey,
see you.
yes, thank you very much.
It's
So,
always nice to see you.
so this is it. This is where we chat about
Yeah.
what we're going to do.
Yeah, and you know what I really want to say is that it's going to be the Bob and Inez show. We're not just talking about um, the Swan. We're not just talking about Simpson Protocol and all the stuff you do. It's you and me for the week for 4 days.
You and me, girl.
Yeah,
I,
and you
I'm off
know,
Missouri.
I know we're a little crazy, but you know what? We're fun.
We are fun. And even if they say we are not, we are fun. That's fine.
So, but for people who really do want to learn stuff, you're going to start with the Swan. And most people already have heard of the Swan in the UK, so I think maybe you just want to give maybe a little bit of information about it, or for those that might have missed it.
Yeah, and for those who aren't aware of this, I mean, I don't teach the Swan so that everybody will use the Swan for the rest of their lives. I show them the Swan protocol as a protocol, as a great protocol that I and lots of my colleagues use more so than even hypnosis, let's say, certainly for the first consultation. But I don't actually open with the Swan. I open my presentation with the Swan in the therapy room. But when I'm teaching, I let people know what I've done nearly all my career before the Swan came along. So I show them a thing called the wall, which is based on the idea that when people come through the therapy room, you know, there's a wall there, just like somebody trying to sell something. And the whole idea is to have enough arrows in our quiver to knock that wall down piece by piece by piece by piece to allow us to heal them, really. And then by the time I'm finished doing that session, I call the wall, which has got maybe 7 or 8 protocols within that. I then go into what I discovered 3 years ago with the Swan and how that changed the wall into something a little bit different since then.
Well, that's great because I'm looking forward to that because in the Simpson Protocol, I have a system too that before they walk through the doors, they are already knowing what I want from them. And we all have a system of getting the person comfortable and getting them to do hypnosis, right? Or the Swan in this case, either both ways. But each one of us does it slightly differently. So it's an interesting aspect for me to see that part for sure. And the Simpson Protocol is not very well known in the UK, I don't think. I mean, there's a few people that know about it, like, what's his name, Laurie, the guy that he made a video of me, the Simpson Protocol, as Marge Simpson or something, and it was some...
What?
So it was all good. It was all good. And so that's how, I don't mind, what did they say, all advertising, doesn't matter how it comes. And it wasn't negative, it was just funny. So it was good. But, so Simpson Protocol is known very well in Europe and in the States, more so even than where I live in Canada. I know, and you know, Canada, we are a huge country, but we're a very small population. So it isn't surprising that I get more, like I have a class this weekend, I've got about 16 to 20 people. But when you go to Europe, it's always, you know, anywhere between 20 and 30 people. So it doesn't matter, but you fill the room and people get to learn stuff and they get to practice. And I think that's a big thing because many times you go and take a course and it's just a lecture thing. This is both of us present and then we do a lot of experiential stuff in the weekend.
Well, it has to be that way. And you mentioned that practice. The whole idea is there's no point of them arriving and seeing how wonderful Ines Simpson is at the Simpson Protocol, or how Burns and Ines Simpson. That's of no value to them. So the whole idea is that they work them really hard so that by the time they're finished, they can do the Simpson Protocol. And they are complete and absolute natural swaners. And they're proud to wear that badge. I mean badge, literally, you know, I give them a badge. This badge is valued at, it only costs 2 pence each. Only several hundred. Big badge. Great to be a swanner. But seriously, that's what we want to do.
It is.
The reason why we do this is because when we got together back in December, we talked about the same things that we found as we travelled the world, talking to lots of these people who come and see us. And very often, in fact, most of the time, the two main things they say to us is, is they're lacking in confidence with the presentations that we do right now in the therapy room.
Yeah.
And certainly they're lacking in confidence within themselves.
Yeah.
So that hopefully by the time we're finished doing our work, they can take a bit of this, a bit of that, the whole of one, but they'll be able to go out there with a complete and absolute quiver full of arrows. I don't know exactly.
I had a guy come out here from Florida yesterday for some sessions, and what he was saying to me was, as he was another hypnotist, he was saying when he went to conventions, most of the time, even when I do a 1 hour or 2 hour or 3 hour presentation, whatever it is, besides the weekend teaching, he said one of the only people at the convention that gave them something in that hour that they could use. It wasn't a sales job. So I thought, well, isn't that what I'm there for? I'm supposed to be teaching them something that's helpful. And we both come from that place of teaching instead of just being there. And when they practice, by the end of the thing, they know what questions to ask. If they don't practice and they don't make mistakes or they don't do anything, how do they know what they haven't got?
Yeah, and as we talked about, you said it's absolutely wonderful, isn't it? You spend a couple of days with someone who's maybe got 10, 15 years experience under the belt. They leave you on the Monday, and you get a call from them on the Tuesday to say, hey, I did your thing, and I fixed something.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful kickball to get.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure to be able to do this thing.
And so you want them to actually outstrip you. I mean, they get better. They're supposed to get better than you. That's the whole idea, right?
Well, I tell you right now, as you know, I'm 24 hours back from California, and when I was doing my workshop there, I pulled out a lovely girl to do the swan with, and I got nowhere with her. There was no twitch, there was no turn, there was no. And I love when that happens because these people get the same feeling. It's wonderful. And you know and I know that a lot of people will pick up the somnambulist, they've chatted to them for a couple of hours, they know who they are, and I'll take anybody that puts their hand up first. And sometimes I win, and I win handsomely, and sometimes I lose dreadfully. I mean, I fail. People are scared of this thing, aren't they? They say there's no such thing as failure, there's just feedback. Hey, yeah, but it's called failure. You fail. And failure gives you the feedback. But the wonderful thing is when I put it back into the audience again, and we broke for them to try it on each other, this wonderful girl next to her had a go, and she had a going. She was 10 times better than Bob Burns.
It's also the second time, and also because they feel more comfortable. They're not in front of the room, and all the other things that play into it. I know I sometimes get the most difficult demonstrations that I have. I get some of the most difficult issues when I'm teaching. I don't know why. I think they do it. God zaps us or something, but it's all good because that's what they learn from. They see how I had to maneuver my way through all that. Right? And that's good. So I want to talk to you about something else. I think I have heard somewhere that you are really actually a grief specialist.
That's outside the therapy room. I do a thing. About 30 years ago, I wrote up a thing called The Secret Garden. And some of the people I've been workshopping with over the last 5 years asked me to spend a little bit of time on this thing that I do. Now, you and I have talked about scripts, the power of the script, and how some people can't stand a script. They don't want to be anywhere near a script. They want to open their mouths and they want the power to flow, and every time they do, you always get the exact wording absolutely right. Now, that might be them, but that's not the people across the board in general. You know my beliefs in this. My belief is to, and certainly in the early days, if you're going to be a professional, have a script. And then what do? Is you practice, then you forget. You don't need it ever again.
Yeah.
So it's something wonderful to have a base.
Yeah, it's true. You need a structure to start with.
Absolutely. So I use this thing I call the Secret Garden, and I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be pulling this one out completely when we have our 4 days together, so that people can know exactly what to do with somebody in severe grief state, where they can use this protocol and watch what happens. And I mean immediately.
Yeah.
Room immediately. I'm going to try and demonstrate.